Welcome to today's session about understanding what is Cyperf Community Edition and how we can use it to solve our network performance bottlenecks or just benchmark our network or just troubleshoot a simple network issue. So what is Cyperf Community Edition? So Cyperf Community Edition is a free and stateful network traffic generator from Keysight. Cyperf Community Edition is the free version of the full-fledged testing, like full-fledged stateful testing suite Cyperf that Keysight offers. Cyperf has a lot of more features than the Community Edition, which is like higher throughputs. It can you can have you can test for like security vulnerabilities. You can uh, have multiple types of traffic like TCP UDP is standard, but apart from that you can have mix of traffic. You can have real we can have a simulated realistic traffic like Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, that kind of traffic. We recently added, if you want to test against LLM sort of traffic, you can do that on Cyperf as well. Cyperf is a great tool, but today we are going to discuss about Cyperf Community Edition and how you can get started and start using it at this particular very instance. So imagine that you are a cloud provider and you are in the networking team of a cloud company. In my case, since I am going to show them on AWS, let's assume that I am an AWS network engineer. In the morning, I get a ticket about like services in Washington, D.C. are not available to my customers who are in Seattle, right? And it gives like impact, and I need to resolve this as soon as possible. So as a first step, I need to just verify that is this really happening, or is it like intermittent, right? So for that, what I do is I create an EC2 instance in US West 2, which is Seattle, which is my client side, and I send traffic, I send sample traffic or at whatever rate I want to my server, which is located in US East 1. So I'm trying to simulate what the customers are seeing. These two EC2 instances are in their own VPCs, and I have done VPC peering so that they can talk to each other over the AWS cloud. Don't worry, you will not have to do all of this manually. I have created a I have created a Terraform template for that, which will do all of these EC2 deployment along with peering, security group, keys, and like the user scripts to set up these EC2 instances with all the prerequisites that will be needed to run your Cyperf tests. So all you need to do is git clone this Cyperf deployment repository, right? CD to it, and then just you have to deploy this template. So before deploying, let's just do the plan. The Terraform plan will validate what it's going to do. And then we just do Terraform apply. This command takes some time, but it will go at the backend and it will deploy everything infrastructure wise for you. It will also bring up the EC2 instances with all the prerequisites needed to run your Cyper. Those prerequisites are in this user data.sh. So this is the shell script that it will run while it's bringing up these EC2 instances. As you can see here, this is the section where we are getting our Cyperf binaries going on the Ubuntu boxes, right? And since we don't want we are doing it like in a detached terminal, we have to make sure that we set these environment variables before installing your dependencies, right? You have to use like this -y so that you don't have to constantly keep on saying yes. So these Linux things just keep in mind, right? Till the instances are coming up. Once the instances are up, what we will do is we have this configuration file. Here, all you need to do is change these IPs that you're seeing here. So we'll have two EC2 instances, right? They'll have a public IP and a private IP. We just replace the IPs here with the ones that we will be getting it. And how Cyperf Community Edition works is you need to start a server process, right? Here I'm starting a server process and Cyperf server process with a buffer size of 1K. And then I go on my client and I say, okay, I have my server started on a particular private IP address, which is here. Now connect to that particular IP address and send traffic at a bit rate of 1 gig per second, right? Along with this, I also specify the key that will be needed to SSH into in these two EC2 instances, and I want to run my test for 30 seconds, right? And if you don't want to run a throughput test, there are some other type of tests that you can run, which I have specified here. You have like connection rate, you have with defaults, then you can also specify, say, I want to test for 1000 CPS and how it turns out. This parallel session. So parallel sessions is by default equal to the cores that your particular instance has. So mine has 8 CPUs, so vCPUs. So here it will run like 8 parallel connections. Along with that, here is the help of Cyper. So you can choose options like I want to run bidirectional traffic, or instead of client to server, I want to run from server to client. So just take a look at these options. And based on that, all you need to do is change the server commands and the client commands. Usually they occur in pairs, right? And once you have done this, before running the actual test, let's see first if our s- infrastructure is deployed. So as you can see, our infrastructure, it says, okay, 18 resources have been added. As I said, I have outputted the IPs for you. And then we'll just take this, go back here, replace these values with the new ones, right? Let's go and just check that the resources are created. If we go here, instances, you can see there is one running instances which just got created in US East 1, and we will see a similar instance created in US West 2, right? So these are our client and server instances. Now let's get back and try to run the traffic, right? As I said, to run the traffic, we come here and go to run tests, right? And terminal here, right? So now it's running the traffic. I have outputted the commands that it's running. Don't worry about this redirection. This redirection is just to get the stats at a later point. The first part is important. So the values that we just pasted, they have been taken in and the tests are running now. Since it will take 30 seconds, let's wait for it to complete. Awesome. So as you can see, a client initiated 8 active connections, server accepted 8 active connections, and you also see depending on like considering the time that we ran it for, we have got good amount of traffic as well. So this kind of ensures that, or this kind of proves that the traffic is going through from your client to server, which is US West to US East, right? And this might be some other problem. But this is the power of Cypress C. You can do this basic troubleshooting in as less time as 5 minutes.